Tony. I think everybody was shocked when we found out that these two actually got married. I know, like, there's a lot of things we will do in order to pay our bills, but I never thought the relationship between Toni and Birdman was genuine. I just knew that he was just willing to go broke behind her.
Now listen, I've got to admit, this might be one of the rare times I actually agree with Tasha K, because this whole situation right here makes absolutely no sense. Like seriously, Toni Braxton, the R&B icon, the living legend, the woman behind Unbreak My Heart, actually married Birdman and then turned around and filed for divorce just 2 days later? This kind of chaos is way beneath Toni's level. She's too polished, too seasoned to be mixed up in something this messy, but apparently Birdman isn't taking it well either.
It just never fit. And so apparently in August of last year in 2024, they had a secret wedding. Finally got married in secret, even though everything else was public. And then she went and tried to annul the marriage 2 weeks later because she realized she had stopped.
Word is, he's been stalling that marriage for over 6 years, keeping Toni hanging while she waited patiently like a queen on pause. She's been loyal, low-key, and strategic, biding her time until that wedding ring finally came through. But here's the kicker. When the ceremony finally happened and she officially said, "I do," Toni made sure she was protected, securing that bag in the process. And now, Birdman might have to cough up a serious chunk of change from his $160 million fortune? Whew, I bet he did not see that one coming.
Me and him have been friends for 16 years.
I know you had a song like 15 years ago,
yeah,
too,
we've
right?
been like besties for a long time.
People always say that. But
No, this is real. Like, no cross the line.
Besties, like you always kept in touch and you always talked?
We would keep in touch. He would come see me when I had my plays. When I had my baby shower, he would come. Like, we were really friends.
Especially not after the way he allegedly played Lil Wayne out of his own money back in the day. Now Karma's doing a victory lap. But what made Toni pull the plug so fast? That's the real question here. Before we dive into the juicy details, here's something to keep in mind. Toni and Birdman go way back. We're talking almost 20 years of friendship, if you know what I mean. And let's be honest, after 2 decades of chemistry, ain't no way they were just friends. Toni tried to keep it classy, saying that she and Birdman didn't cross any lines before they officially started dating. But come on, nobody was really buying that. Still, let's keep it rolling. Birdman's always been super private when it comes to his love life, so you can imagine the shock when whispers started floating around in 2016 that he and Toni Braxton were actually together.
What's happening with you? You was at the awards last night?
Yeah, I was out there
working?
doing my thizzle.
And you were with Toni, which kind of felt like some sort of announcement.
I wouldn't look at it as an announcement. Not for me, on my behalf. I just wanted to come. Me and T just went to the awards, check it out. So, what's the big deal?
It is a big deal. You know why it's a big deal? Because it's Birdman and Toni Braxton. And also because we don't see you like in a relationship. We talked about this last time when you
I've always been off the radar because I think me personally, I always felt your personal life don't have nothing to do with conflict with your entertainment life.
Then came the rumors that they had even eloped in 2017, like secretly tied the knot. Both Toni and Birdman were quick to shut those rumors down. They said they were just hanging out, keeping things cool, casual, and low-key, basically the kind of situationship that everyone claims isn't serious, but definitely is. But fans weren't convinced, and that's when a mysterious blind item hit the internet and sent everyone into a frenzy. The blind item read, "This former A-plus list aging singer comes from a famous musical family. She dumped her longtime boyfriend because she had to take care of her family and pay off massive debt. So instead of being with someone for love, she's now sold herself to the highest bidder. And that bidder is a man living on borrowed time because he's got a lot of enemies gunning for him."
People don't know, 2016, November, when I was on tour, October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
From the
really
lupus?
sick.
Or
I had a
from-
really
okay.
bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. If he left out, he would come back.
And this was before anybody knew you guys
We
were
weren't
even
anything. It was
like-
buddies. It was
Right.
nothing. Not even a day. He was my friend. And he was there. I don't know if
he
you've ever
already
been-
loved you.
Now tell me that doesn't sound like Toni Braxton and Birdman to a T. The description lined up perfectly. Remember, Toni filed for her second bankruptcy back in 2010 after being forced to cancel her Las Vegas residency while battling lupus. That situation left her finances in shambles. And she's been open about the fact that she's always felt responsible for carrying her family, especially her sisters. So yeah, when that blind item dropped, people put 2 and 2 together real quick. It painted a picture of a woman who'd been through it all, health issues, financial struggles, family pressure, and finally decided to choose stability over romance. And according to Toni, that's exactly why being with Birdman felt easy.
He's there every day taking care of you. But he really was there every day. My buddy, my friend T, you all right? You good? I'm cheering good. You know, he was just there as my
Cheering.
friend. Like cheering good. Big Mama good. He was there every day for the shows. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently.
Toni once opened up about what made her connection with Birdman feel so different. And honestly, her words were touching. She said, "It's comforting to have someone tell you it's okay to be ill and that you don't have to be Wonder Woman all the time." Living with lupus has been an exhausting, emotional roller coaster for her, and for years she carried that pain silently while trying to stay strong for everyone else. With Birdman, though, she finally felt like she didn't have to fake a smile or pretend she was okay when she really wasn't. Toni got real about her struggles, admitting, "I've always had issues dating because I was ashamed to have lupus and felt like no one would want to take care of a woman with lupus." That insecurity ran deep, but Birdman made her feel safe. She said she could chill with a little hat or scully on, throw on just some mascara and lipstick, and still feel beautiful. With him, she didn't need to be the glamorous superstar every second. She could finally breathe.
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust
Because you
her.
bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes,
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
she my life. I love her to death.
And apparently, Birdman was just as smitten. He wasn't shy about showing Toni how serious he was. The man went all in, popping the question with a rock so massive you could spot it from outer space. Toni later shared a picture of them together, and that $1 million engagement ring stole the spotlight. It was shining like the sun. Birdman even gushed about Toni during an interview with Wendy Williams, proudly calling her "my family." If Toni and Birdman were so in love, then what stopped them from actually walking down the aisle? That's the question everyone's been asking. Toni once told Wendy Williams how thrilled she was about finally getting married again. She said they even had a date picked out, but then, boom, family drama showed up and threw everything off. From there, the wedding just kept getting pushed back and back until it basically vanished off the calendar completely.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values and we were going through a little drama. And I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of us sisters together.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get us all together. And I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
He calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle.
Here's the twist though. According to people close to them, Birdman was ready. He was dead serious about making Toni his wife, and if it had been up to him, they would have been hitched right then and there. But somehow, something always got in the way. Then came the part that made fans side-eye everything. Toni suddenly claimed that her $1 million engagement ring was stolen. Yep, gone. After she supposedly left it in her luggage while traveling on a plane. Now, I don't know how that even happens, but that story didn't sit right with a lot of people. Like, how do you forget a ring worth a whole $1 million in a carry-on? Not long after that suspicious loss, Toni and Birdman publicly announced their split, saying they were going their separate ways. But of course, the internet wasn't buying it. Rumors started swirling that they had already secretly gotten married and were just keeping the whole thing under wraps. Toni, however, quickly jumped in to shut all that down. She made it clear that they were never officially married. To top it off, she posted a stunning picture of herself in a red dress with the caption, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen." That caption Toni dropped had fans raising their eyebrows. Was she trying to spill some hidden tea with that "choose to be chosen" line? Because once you start connecting the dots, it sounds like there was way more going on behind the scenes than anyone realized. Toni may have tried to keep it classy and make the breakup look smooth and mutual, but word on the street says it was anything but peaceful. Insiders claim Toni wasn't the only woman Birdman was entertaining. He had another leading lady in the mix long before Toni came around. Kimora Lee Simmons. Yep, the same Kimora who built an empire in fashion and luxury. Apparently, Birdman and Kimora had been quietly involved for years. And even after Toni entered the picture, he kept funding Kimora's lifestyle. Lavish gifts, luxury trips, the whole 9 yards. What's even crazier is that Birdman once called Kimora the love of his life and publicly thanked her for everything she'd done for him. So let's get this straight. Kimora's the love of his life, but Toni's the family and soldier? That's wild. And that right there, folks, was the real issue between Toni and Birdman. Even after they seemed to patch things up and reunited on stage during Toni's big show in Atlanta, Kimora was still lurking in the background. People close to the situation said Kimora had Birdman wrapped around her finger, and he'd come running the second she called. Now here's where it gets even messier. Rumor has it the only reason Kimora never made things public was because she didn't think Birdman fit her image. In her elite fashion circles, he wasn't exactly high society material, and she didn't want that smoke. But while she kept things quiet, Birdman was still chasing behind her, even when he was supposed to be marrying Toni. So when Toni and Birdman finally decided to tie the knot last year, insiders say he was still entertaining Kimora on the side. Word on the street is that the wedding day itself was pure chaos. Sources say Birdman showed up super late, like hours behind schedule, and then get this, he left early too. He allegedly told people he had to help someone with something, but that someone reportedly turned out to be Kimora Lee Simmons. Can you imagine your husband dipping out of your own wedding to go see another woman? And to make it worse, he didn't even apologize to Toni afterward. At this point, fans were losing it online. Like seriously, what was Toni doing in this mess? She's a Grammy-winning legend, an icon. She's got nothing to prove. Seeing her tangled up in this kind of drama at this point in her life had everybody shaking their heads. People expected class, not chaos. But here's the thing, Toni wasn't about to let herself be played for too long. Sources close to her say she stuck around just long enough to secure that check, and once she had what she needed, she was out. According to court whispers, Toni and Birdman even tried to keep their divorce as private as possible, signing the papers using only their initials, TB and BW, and marking their marriage as irretrievably broken. Both of them made sure the details stayed locked down tight. Neither has addressed the breakup publicly, but the signs are clear as day. No wedding bands, no shared photos, no public appearances. In fact, both of them have completely scrubbed each other from social media. And you know what that means in celebrity world? It's done. The internet went into a frenzy the moment the news broke. Fans were shocked that Toni even tolerated Birdman's antics for as long as she did, but then again, that rumored fat divorce payout might have made all the stress a little easier to handle. Toni Braxton and Birdman as a couple will forever go down as one of the wildest plot twists in celebrity history. Like, seriously. Who had that on their 2024 bingo card? Fans are still trying to wrap their heads around how the smooth, elegant Toni Braxton ended up entangled with Birdman of all people. It just doesn't compute. And now hearing that she allegedly filed for divorce just 2 weeks after the wedding? That's pure chaos. The internet couldn't stop laughing and crying at the same time. One fan wrote, Toni Braxton, the legend, really let Birdman under her skirt? I'm gonna need a minute to process this. And honestly, same. It's messy, it's unbelievable, and it's exactly the kind of Hollywood madness that keeps us glued to the screen. But now it's your turn to sound off. What do you think about Toni and Birdman's roller coaster romance? Was it real love gone wrong or just a deal gone bad? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get into it. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your crew. Because trust me, the next tea I'm about to spill is just as juicy, if not messier. Stay tuned, my loves. This next one's gonna shake the table for real.